Hello everybody, here we are again. Goodness me, these times go quickly, don't they? It's Tuesday already and tile 325. Now just to make you aware, of course, on the 23rd of March is our anniversary. We'll have been doing tiles for 3 years. 3 years, goodness me. So it's not exactly on a day that we normally do a tile, but I watch this space because I think we need to do something a little bit special, don't we? So, okay, with that done, what are we doing today? Because that's what we care about, to be fair. We want to know what we do today. So, I've got a blush tile, and what have I got with me? I've got, oh, there we go. I'm going to lift my, oh, a bit, there we go. I've got my regular pen, pencil touchy on. I've got a brush pen with me today as well, just to be sure, because we might need a little bit of that. But we're going to see how we go. I think what I'm going to do afterwards as well, because once I've done it and shaded and everything, I'm going to spray it with some spray and shine, so varnish, let it dry, and then I'm going to ink over the top of it. But of course I'll not do that on air. What I will do, I will spray it, and I think, have I got any spray here? If I've got spray here, I will do it. If not, I'll do it a bit later when I get home. But I just think that's nice to get a bit of texture on it. So, alright, are we ready for this then? I'm going to go straight in with pen. And no pencil at all. That's just going to be for the shading. Unless you want to use coloured pencils, it's absolutely fine. But let's see. Let's see where this ends up. I've got pencils sitting here just in case. But I'm going to just see how it goes. All right. So then, I'm going to start round about the middle of the tile. It doesn't have to be exact, but around about. And here we go. I'm going to sort of follow in. And you can also see what I'm doing here. So starting, oh Vicky, what's coming tomorrow? I don't know if I could tell you. I don't know. All right, here we go. So I've got a bit of a curl going on there. I've not gone all the way around. And of course, if you'd rather do this in pencil to start with, please feel free. Don't feel that you need to do it. What I'm going to do as well now, I'm going to come back. I want to go from there to there, but this is going to be a bit fatter and this is going to get a bit thinner. So it's a little bit of a curve like that. Okay, so starting at one point, ending at the same one. Well, I've got that kind of thing. So, working inside here, I'm going to do another. Not too big, just sort of nestled inside there, like that. 2 of them, okay? So let's have a look, this bottom edge here. I'm going to follow on this curve. Let's turn it that way so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to come on in, put a little curl in, like that. Okay, I'm just going to go in a bit bigger. Oh, Chris, did you get your pencils? Woohoo! Have you been stroking them a little bit? I know, they are lovely, aren't they? Okay, there we are. And this side, I'm going to follow the shape, but see I've sort of done loops there. I want to do loops here as well, so it's going to come a little bit higher and back down. And then, again, another one, a little bit smaller this time. And then another, a little bit smaller. Just get that on the end there. Don't be afraid of making sure that these are nice and sort of pointed. If you've got to extend them a bit, that's fine. It's a bit of a shape on them there. There you go. Okay. So let's have a little look on the context of the tile. So you can see there, it's about 1/3 of the tile, I would say. Something like that, if you're having a look at size-wise. Okay. So let's go back in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of see where I've got this gap here. I'm going to come on in about there, and I'm going to put in another one of those curves. There we are. And again, it's about 1/3 of the way, you see? So similar size to that one. And then around we go, creating that shape again. And then another one on the inside, following that line, So again, as before, we've got these sort of little loops going this way. I think there, look, I'm going to put some little dots on the end. Just finishes it, doesn't it? And then let's bring a couple of loops out this way. There we go. One there, and of course I could just sort of put those dots in. And then on this side, in we go, around, back and create that little loop shape. And then same again, a little bit smaller. Another one, a little bit smaller. So let's have a little look at that. We've got that going on. So these loops, I'm going to put in a little line following just sort of down the centre there, and same with those. Just join them so we can decipher the loops from those curls. And it gives it a bit of definition there. That's that one. So to the next one, I'm going to again come around and work my way sort of again from this sort of area here. See where you've got the sort of gap in between the two, and around, and then back in, and down we go. So it gives me that shape again. You see, it's sort of worked that way. It's gone on at a little bit of an angle, but I don't mind that. If you wanted them straight, you could put a line in, and that just gives you a little bit of an idea where you were working to. But that would mean putting these curls more on top of each other rather than working in those little gaps there. So again, in that loop, let's put that line in at the same time this time, and then another little line. See, it's just going to extend into those little dots there. So then working from here, back in with the loop going that way, round, then round and in, and I'm going to get a third one in there. Some lines, along we go. So we've got that kind of a row there now. Okay, so far so good. So our next little bit, you can decide which side you want to go on. We're not going to do it on both sides, just on the one. So you choose whether you want it on this one or that one, doesn't matter. But what I am going to do is turn it round. And this side feels a little bit more comfortable for me to draw on. So I'm going to do this side, but if you want that one, that's fine. So you see how this curve comes this way? So rather than repeat it and do it that way, I'm going to sort of do what I did before and start here and come up and go around. So a little bit of a gap there. Up we go and around. Now I'm just going to do this one, and then I'll sort of explain if you were going to do the other side. Okay. Oh, Jackie, mine's not straight either. That would be straight. Look at my tile. Don't worry about it. If you were going to do this side, I would do my curve that way. So it's facing like a mirror image there, because then when you come to this one, you could do it going that way. But depends on which you want. I'm going to go up this side here. Okay. So there's our first one. And then bring in that next one, nice and small, just sort of nestled inside that there. And then bring those loops as my first one. And then another one. Oh, hello from Mauritius. Don't think I've been to Mauritius before. No, I don't think I've been watched by anybody in Mauritius before. And then remember this, we came around put that line in and along. Now that's quite small, so I'm not going to put that little loop in, getting it that way, but I could, no, am I? No, I'm going to leave it. I could go that way, but I'm going to leave it as that, I think. Don't want to overdo it. And there's dots going in there. And this one. So I've gone that way to start with. So again, looking at that little dip there, I'm coming back in and around. And then along, point to point, creating that shape. So into this one, again, keep it quite close, nestled in there. You've got that shape. And then if you remember from our loops, we're going downwards. And then a smaller one. Let's put some little dots in. And then here, because I haven't got as much space, I can get one in there. You've got to look at the space you've got and work accordingly. And then here, a little one in there. Okay, not going to do any more, going to leave it at that. And then up into the next one. So again, look, I'm looking at this little gap here. And in. So by its very nature, it's going to sort of be slightly more at an angle, because I'm not trying to draw it straight on top. I'm looking at spaces I've got in between. Just need a bit of work on there. Okay. And into that little nestled area. Then my two loops. First one, second one. And then here, I'm going to come up and around. So I've got the space. Do another one, and I'm going to get one in, but I'm going to go that way because it just feels like I've got the space there to do that. Let's put them little dots in. Okay, let's have a little look at the whole thing there then. A second. All right, so you see it's not at a straight line, it is going off slightly, but I quite like that, and it's not meant to be perfectly straight, so it's fine. So looking down my side here now, I'm going to put a border in, but not completely all the way around. So just sort of watch this space for a moment. So I'm going to go in. See, it's going to go a bit close there. I don't want it to touch, because what I'm going to do is a little bit of an aura in these little spaces. So here, for example, I'm going to come in and aura inside there. And then inside that one there, thicken that up because I'm going to fill it in a minute. Let's have a look now, you can see what I'm doing there. So this one, I'm going to work it into the space. See, I can even come into there a bit, look. I'm going to fill that, that's what my brush is for. So that's fine. And again, creating a shape from the space that you've got. Same there. And then this one's going to be a bit small there. Okay, now this one here, I'm going to go all the way along to, let's go about there to start with. If you would be happy with a straight edge, use we've got a couple of those, so use whichever one comes to hand. See, I'm going to go around there. That's giving me a shape there like that. Okay, let's have a little look at that. So if I switch over now to my brush pen, if you've never used a brush, it's worth having a go. They're really nice. It's just going to help you to fill in. But I know we've got like an 05 or even an 08 pen, but they can still leave streaks. And it takes a couple of coats. This one you can sort of fill in the most, or the bulk of it, and then you can come back and fill in the fine details with a regular pen if you need to. But you see, it gives a more covered feel to it there. Fill in. Sometimes I actually do it once and then come back and fill in again. Depends how dark you want it. What colour tile it's on. If you're covering a large space, then I would. Because these are quite small. You'll probably get away with just one. Alright. So then I'm going to tidy that up in a short while. But it's got quite a fine point, so. Okay. Well, thank you, Lorraine. I know people love grids, but sometimes it's nice just to try something a bit different. And in all honesty, if I had to put lines across this for us to work to, you probably would have found this would fit in a grid. So look at it like that way. Everything's a grid. Everything starts as a rectangle or a bubble. Look at that. There we go. Oh, nice. So if we need to, see, we can come back in with that fine line there and soften it off. See there, look, I might come in, round it off a bit more. Again, see, that's why I wouldn't use my 03 to do all of that. But it's just a little bit neater in there. And then I'm gonna join that there because that'll look better. There we go. So you can make these decisions once it's filled in, and just having that little bit of freedom to come back and do it. So I'm going to leave that one there. And just sort of neaten the edge up if you feel you need to. There we go. Done. Okay, nice, I like that. So I mean, you could actually go into all the spaces and fill them.
Would you like tea or chocolate?
Oh, I think I'm going to go with a cup of tea, please, Leslie. Yes. It's nice to be spoilt, isn't it? Okay, so I'm not going to do any more of that colouring over here or in the spaces. I just wanted to have a bit of a border there. But coming out of this here, I'm going to turn it round like that. So let's zoom in a little bit. And it doesn't matter which side you worked on. Oh, Sue says hi, Leslie.
Hey.
Sue says hi.
Hi.
She was, yeah, stuck in the cupboard then. A little bit of a curve.
I thought I was starting to get orders then.
There we go. Okay, so this one a little bit smaller, but it's the same sort of design. This morning, let's do another one that side, and I'm not trying to make them the same at all. So I'm gonna bring another one down here, another one here. Again, I'm not trying to match them or make them the same in any way. That's fine. Oh, Joanne says tea, please. Yeah, I won't say what she's just said. Oh, do you know, sometimes.
Be a bit cold by the time it got there.
A little loop with a line. And a bit of a loop with a line. But you'll be knowers. You notice every time I'm doing this, they're slightly different into different sides, but they're getting smaller. Let's do a little one there. Okay, so we've got that. Janet, I don't even think we've got Earl Grey in. Goodness me.
No, I haven't. I did have.
She used to have. Right, let's do another one of these. I'm going to go, let's have a look. Up from here. And then again. Another one that way. Okay. No, Joanne, that's Dobby. Leslie's only on level 3 wand. Dobby's on level 5. So, he's been around a little bit longer in age than Leslie, so yeah. And, yeah. After his shenanigans last week with our Pauline Wheeler, and not attending the birthday show on Hobby Maker because he'd had too much gin the night before. Okay, so we've got a couple. I'm going to find another one. I want it to sort of be on its side, so I'm going to come out this way. Like that. And then this way. And then we can do loops. And loops. And loops.
Giving him his instructions, he's got to behave himself this time.
Oh, there. Leslie's had a stern word with him.
Very stern.
He's banned from Pauline's, he's grounded.
Well, he came back down over and couldn't help her.
I know. He just curled up in his drawer. We didn't see him for at least a day. Okay, I'm just going to add a couple of little loops here. Let's take one in there as well, you see? Up here. Okay, out for lunch though. He's always okay when there's food about. But any other time, he's not so much. Okay, you see I've got this little space here. Thank you, Leslie.
Where am I going to put it?
I have no idea. Put it on my list there. It's fine. I can't see my desk.
No, it's a bit of a...
I'm prepping for tomorrow and I'm answering emails. Yeah. Just watched Wild Spider on Hobby Maker. My friend Tony. Okay, so I've got another little line there. Back in with that brush. See, just sort of fill it in as you go. I know, Maureen, I thought, hey up. Louise is getting brave, asking for sneak peeks of anything that's new. And of course, it's still their birthday, isn't it? So I do have a giveaway for tomorrow. It's going to have to be over the 2 shows, though, not over one, but you'll understand why when you know what it is. Alright, there we go. Shake that in. Okay, so I'm going to have it that way. You could have it any way you like. But, it's quite nice that way, but I like this. It's got a little bit of sort of weight around this corner, so that's a real useful sort of section to be. So yeah, we could bring a bit of colour in here, or we could use just regular pencil. I think for a start, I'm going to use a regular pencil, and then I'm going to bring a hint of colour in on a few of them. So let's just have a look here, shall we? Do I have a... Yeah, I've got my rubber. I think, let's pick out a couple. So maybe this one, we could colour, and then bring out this as colouring in. So if I mark them with a cross, then I know that I'm not going to sort of put any pencil on them. But it's quite nice, I think, to make that decision now. So sharp pencil, quick sip of tea, of course. And off we go. So I'm going to start this side purely because I then don't smudge it as I work my way over. And with my loops, I'm going to add some in those bottom corners there. Ooh. Okay. Not the curly sort of leaf shapes, just the loops. See, just in that bottom edge. Who won the mug? Yes, Chris, it was Joanne Kudzovich. It's actually gone in the post today. We've got to her order, so that's gone. And in terms of the diamond dots, as we know, it was D Turner, or I'm doing the wrong one. And of course, I know Diamond Dots UK were very nice, that they said if anybody liked the butterfly diamond dots, that they would actually order some, and the deadline's today. So there is a post about that on the Sanntangle group page, if it's of interest. Just they were happy to oblige there. That's, okay. sort of focusing now on my loops, making sure that I've not missed any. So just a little bit of pencil on that bottom edge. Along we go. See, those I've put crosses on, so I'm not going to touch those. So then come into, oh, see, missing loops. Come into these shapes. So I'm going to actually do both sides of those. Both sides. That pencil there. And then of course these ones, you know, the ones we started with, quite large. But again, I'm going to do both sides. Same with that one, in the middle there. Both sides. Now that one, look, I put a cross in. So I'm not going to do that one. Both sides. And then, oh yeah, just sort of adding a little bit around that edge there. It's a little bit bigger than you expect, I think, once you start putting pencil in. These are quite small, though, that's fine. Of course, the one next to it, it's got a cross on it, so I'm not going to do that one. And there we go with that one. Okay, so I think I've got them all, apart from the ones with crosses, which, before I start getting crazy with the tortillon, I'm just going to rub out those crosses. Don't have to do that after we've blended everything. So, tortillon, here we go. Quick sip of tea. Okay. And I'm going to sort of start one end and work my way along because it's very similar here. The idea is we're going to soften the edges and leave a little bit of white there. Oh, I did do. Oh, that's the one I'd got a cross on though. So I'm not going to colour that one. But I didn't on those. And then when I come to these ones, just sort of make sure that it's smooth there. Let's go in a little bit. Oh, see, just make sure that's sort of solid, and then soften it out. Less and less pressure as you come round. Look, that one as well. Same with that there. Okay. So I could come in with my white chalk pencil and fill that bit in. To that one. Along we go. Same with these. Just make sure that you've got no white gaps, whatever colour tile you've got there. And then soften it off. Okay. Alright. Same with this one. So just sort of take your time with it. And just enjoy shading that little bit there. Just want to be working along the sections. Just leaving that little bit of a highlight if you can as you go around. If you feel that it's not dark enough, you can always go back in and do another layer of the pencil. Plus, if you wanted to, you could always do this with the tortillon to get your shading and then add some coloured pencil over the top. You don't have to do it as two separate things. So that gives you a slightly more muted feel with the colours. So it's quite nice to work on there. See, just ever so gentle. There's not much space there at all, but I'm still trying to leave little gaps if I can. And pull them over. See how that just takes on its own little bit of shadow there. And that little highlight is just helping you out, kind of giving you the dark and the light. So soften it out. Again, just making sure there's no gaps. And then softening that out. So less and less pressure, you see. Okay. So go a little bit heavier there. You can always go back and do it. You know, sometimes we don't look at them at arm's length, we look at them real close, but it's nice to look at them from a distance as well. There we go. Just easing off as we go along. And same it up. And just work my way around that curve. And on this one. Right, just sort of working on those little loops there. And onto these ones. Now, of course, you could add some colour in places first. You don't have to do the shading first. There's no order, whatever works for you. You see, there's quite a space there, isn't there? It's quite wide, so I can come in with my fine liner and just amend that a little bit. There you go. And neaten it off if I feel I need to. And back in with my tortilla. See, that makes me happy. That's nice. It was a little bit too far away. Easy enough. Each time. Okay. I think sometimes it's how we're supposed to look at art, isn't it, from a distance? It is nice to go up close and personal though. But, you know, when it's on a wall, you don't, do you? You just sort of put it on there and it sits there for a little bit. If you've actually still got the frame, the wooden frames that we made, put it in there and leave it on the shelf for a bit. Walk past it a few times, you'll notice things each time. Okay, let's have a little look at that. There you go. So there's sort of our shading little bits and pieces. So I'm going to bring my coloured pencils in. Oh, colour choice. I'm going to do a little bit of a few blues. There we go, look. A few blues. And start with this one. Actually, start with the darkest. Let's go in a bit more. So, going with this larger one. Just sort of ever so gently sort of stroking that pencil over the top. And I'm going to come down into the lighter blue, just slightly over the top there. And then a sort of greeny blue. So it's still sort of leaving that little highlight there, because then my white pencil, just make sure I've got a bit of red on the end there. Let's put that in that section. You see immediately it starts to burnish those together. So then let's come back in with that blue that we worked, work it into the white and into the blue next to it. To the white, into the blue next to it. Then with that next blue. Go, just again, sort of fighting with the paper behind it really. And then that darker blue. Actually, just do a quick sharpen. Just so I can get into that little point there and there. There we go. Just bring that white back in. Just work that edge there. Okay. Let's have a little look at that. There you go. You see how that white's made a little bit of a difference there. So let's do the same again. So don't always try and do it all in one go. This is almost like you're laying the colour down. I mean, you could do, I'm going to do at the bottom of those. You can do all that colour across all of them to start with. Then come in with that lighter blue. See? And sort of along there as well. There you go. And then into this one. And sort of over the top. Each getting closer to the edge. Closer to the edge. Then bring that white in. You see, I'm applying a little bit more pressure there now. And just starting to blend them together. So then going back through that lighter sort of bluey green. There we are. And in we go with that one. Into the next blue. Now if you so wish, you could do this in, you could do the colours on all of them. But I don't know, if I like to have a little bit of colour, just sort of gives it a bit more of an impact, doesn't it, having that monochrome with it as well. And there we are, look, we're coming back in with that sharp, darker blue. So it's just going to help me get into those little areas and just finish that edge off there. Now I know there's a lot of you out there that can colour already, so I'm not here to teach you colouring as such, but I think sometimes it's nice that you can see it in the context there. So those of you that have not done it before, you can see how it works. Okay, there we go. So with that all done and in mind there, sorted out. Okay, I think what I can do, if I've got it with me, here we go, is I'm going to bring in my white chalky pencil. So this is not the one out the kit, out the set, this is the actual chalk one, and this is the one that I work with for my highlights with my regular pencils. So it's a different, see there's the white that I used with the colour pencils, but this one is the white. You see the difference already, it's going straight over the top. And what I'm going to do, preferably with one that's not going to come me, is add in a little bit of a white highlight in places. See that one there? I'm coming back to that in a minute. Gone over, but okay. So just mainly those really, and anything that's quite large, you've got quite a sort of big area to work in. Okay. And then back in with my black pen. Oh, Chris, yeah, absolutely. It's a good idea, of course. These are the colours I've used. That was my bluey greeny colour. Then my mid, being that we've got the set now, and I've named them and everything, was that one. And the darker one was that one. That's the three I've used. There you go. And then, of course, the white is so called because it's got white on it. So that's your four that I've just used to colour those in. Okay, all right. So here we go. That little bit there, it's going to come back in. Just go over the top of that. So to keep that white contained in that space there. Okay. So let's have a look at that. You see, just having that little hint of a colour in and having that black in the background there, which makes a little bit of a difference. And again, another unusual tile. So there we go, all done and sorted. So yeah, no problem with the colours. Honestly, if you need to know what they are, just ask, it's fine. But there you go, they're all there, so you can see them. Okay, it's nice to just have a play with the combinations. So have a bit of fun with them. Okay, so let's have a bit of a, there you initial there. And there we go, all done. Do you want a quick sneak peek? I'm going to show you one picture. I do have another sketchbook on. I know you like our handmade sketchbooks, so I've got some of those made ready. But I'm going to show you one picture, and I think that's all you need. Okay, are we ready? Right, zoom out a little bit. I have to move my a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, that's your sneak peek. And that's what's happening tomorrow. So if you're around and about, brilliant. And yeah, I will do a giveaway, but it'll be across the 2 shows tomorrow. And so once you know why and what it is, you'll understand. So, okay, have a good one with this. Enjoy. And I will, if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you again here on Friday as normal. All right, have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.